Are you ready to up-level your life? To have the life of your dreams? To finally get success in areas that have been lacking? Like, say you have been struggling in love and money. You are displeased with how you look. You want better health. You want it all. You want good friendships. You want satisfaction. You want to go to sleep at night and feel excited to wake up in the morning. I mean, who doesn't want that? I want you to learn from my own journey. In this video, I'm going to be sharing practical tips that you can use to up-level your life now. Manifesting tips, of course. I'm going to be sharing personal stories, personal experience of how far I've come. And I don't say these things to brag at all. I say these things to give you some perspective as to where I used to be and where I am now. And I want you to learn from all of the trial and error, all of the things that I've been through. Because for me, it was kind of like testing the waters, trying to figure out what worked, and a lot of it didn't work. So you get to be the lucky one to have the shortcut to the techniques that actually work to change your life completely, entirely. Because my story is quite the transformation. Right now, I am sitting right outside of Las Vegas, Nevada. The Strip is, well, it's like way back there. If you can see it, it's a tiny little speck. I once lived in the Klondike Hotel. Now, if you are unfamiliar with Las Vegas, it is, or it was rather, a notorious hotel that had like 99-cent spaghetti meal, cheap slot machines. It was a dive, to say the least. You know, it's not like the Mandalay Bay. It's not like the Venetian or, you know, something great like the MGM Grand or the Bellagio. The Klondike was like the dive of all dives. How I wound up at this motel is, well, that's another story. I actually described it in a video I made about manifesting under a deadline. Because it was actually some dire circumstances that I was in. I had taken a job that didn't end up panning out, and I got stranded, basically, and had to live somewhere. And that was the only place that I could afford. Now, it's important to note that I now own my dream home. I now drive a Tesla. I now have a baby grand piano. I now have the man of my dreams and have a 4-carat engagement ring. Now, when I lived at the Klondike, things were not great at all. I was living day to day, actually, in terms of money. I very often could not even make the money for the next night's hotel room. I would overdraft my account and come up with money that way, and then I was waitressing and I would quickly deposit cash, pay off the fees. I was living with no hope for future, no savings, no ability to get ahead. The person I was living with was spending all of my money on alcohol. It was awful. I had no car. The only job that I could get for myself was waitressing at the Outback Steakhouse at the Casino Royale. I spent most days crying. I had actually left my home in Florida. My home in Florida had suffered a lot of hurricane damage. If you were living in Florida in 2004, you know there was a string of hurricanes that just kept coming. And my home was located in the eye of Charlie. And Charlie got the house. And I was trying to save it. At the time, I was trying to quickly earn enough money to save my home, save my belongings, to make enough money to move out, sell the house, get ahead. This is why I took this temporary job, which left me stranded in Las Vegas and ultimately at the Klondike Hotel. This hotel room, let me describe it for you. It was one room. It was not furnished very well. It was really scuzzy, dirty. It was so small and so dirty, and I didn't even have a refrigerator. I barely had any clothes. I had no means of transportation. I was riding public transportation. I was stuck, to put it mildly. And I couldn't see a way out. Like, I had no vision of how this was going to get better. And that's why I was basically crying every day. It's important to note that I had determination in my heart. I always had a vision of what I wanted. I always had a dream of being able to have enough money to travel the world, to stay in fine hotels, to drive a nice car, to have an amazing man, to, have the body I wanted, to be beautiful. Basically, the things we all want. We all want the good life. We all want to have enough money. We all want to be successful. We all want to go to sleep at night with a sense of satisfaction. We all want kind of the same things. And I would cry every single day because I didn't know how to get out of my situation. I didn't know there was a route to where I am right now. Like, if you would have talked to me then, I had hope for the future, but I didn't have any idea how. And it did take me a number of years to get to where I am right now, but I don't want it to take you that long. I realize now that had I known then what I know now, or what I ultimately ended up figuring out, I could have been where I'm at right now a whole lot quicker. And basically that's what this video is for, is to give you the shortcuts. So here's what you're going to do. No matter how bad things are right now, you are going to take me as an example, take me as a role model. She could do it, I could do it. No dream is out of reach to you. If you want $1 million home, it's possible. I don't care if you're currently homeless. I don't care if you're currently living in a dive motel like I was. It's possible. Again, use me as an example. Manifesting successfully, getting out of your situation, getting out of whatever predicament you're currently in, is more about having determination and fire inside of your heart, that feeling in the pit of your stomach that somehow, some way it's going to be okay. And I can honestly say that I would sort of repeat that to myself through my tears back in the day. It wasn't until years later that I really knew how to apply that. And I want you to take the shortcut. I want you to have that determination, that fire within you. And I want you to let go like your life depended on it. Now, when I say let go, I don't mean to stop thinking about where you ultimately want to be, or to stop trying to get there. When I say trying to get there, I mean you want to embody, you want to see yourself as being able to get there. You just don't know how. And basically that's what letting go and concurrently manifesting is about, because letting go isn't something you do after you say 10,000 affirmations. Like that that technique doesn't work. It's not going to get you anywhere. Because the problem is, you're going to say all those affirmations and every single one of them is going to feel fake. It's going to feel like a lie. It's not going to feel like your truth. Your truth is going to feel like your current circumstances, because it's what your physical eyes can see. It's what's staring you right in the face all around you. So that is going to feel like your truth. And at the time when I was living in the Klondike, that felt like my truth. That felt like my destiny. That felt like what life was giving me, because that literally was what life was giving me. It finally turned around for me when I realized that I could view myself as more, even if my current circumstances or surroundings weren't changing, hadn't changed, were exactly the same. I could still look in the mirror and see myself as a success already. You do not have to label yourself as a success only after you've actually succeeded. You can label yourself as a success now. Now, how do you do this? I want you to listen to your self-talk, but I don't want you to adjust your self-talk through affirmations that you're just saying. I want you to adjust your self-talk by first understanding your self-talk. Like, why are you saying these things to yourself? Why do you tell yourself these things? What do you tell yourself? Because you may not even realize what you're telling yourself. And that's why I don't really recommend affirming things, because it almost feels like when you're affirming something that's the opposite of what you currently have, you're sort of covering up the lessons that need to be learned in order to permanently change your outcome. So I want you to really be quiet and listen. Don't be afraid of your thoughts. Don't be afraid of your negative thoughts. Don't be afraid of your fears. Again, I cried throughout this situation when I was living in the Klondike. I cried. I still got to where I am today. But I want you to get there quicker than I did. So it's almost like I wish I could advise myself, me now, advise myself then, the shortcut, because I could have gotten there in like 6 months' time instead of 6 years. It's a big difference. So you're going to observe your self-talk. Let go like your life depends upon it. Now, letting go is feeling the freedom of knowing a way exists. You don't know what way that is. You don't know how you're going to get there, but you're determined. You have that fire within you. You see yourself as a success already. And one great way that you can really embody that level of success is by saying kind things to yourself. Again, not in the form of affirmations, almost like denying your current circumstances. I almost did just fall. Didn't fall down the mountain though, thank goodness. I get to finish the video. So you're basically listening to your self-talk, being kind to yourself, nurturing yourself. You're not denying your current reality. You're not denying it, like pretending like it's not existing because it's not what you want. You're not, because again, you're just gonna feel delusional. You're gonna feel stupid. And that's why repetitive affirming doesn't work, because it ends up feeling false. And then you just say it so much, you get exhausted, you feel stupid. And you don't get any results. Been there, done that. I tried. I did. Once upon a time. And no matter how hard I tried to implement feeling within those affirmations, they still felt like lies. And they still brought me no level of success. The only thing that brought me a level of success was letting go like my life depended upon it. Like, I feel free. I already see myself as a success, even though I have nothing to show for it. Life can change at any moment. Like, these are the kinds of observations you're going to want to make. And for everyone, it's going to be a little bit different. So I don't want to like give you a routine to do every day. I want you to come up with your own system, because instinctively, intuitively, you know how to do this. You know how to manifest your wildest dreams. You know how to go from rags to riches. You know how to go from being overweight to having that perfect body. You know how to get that dream partner. You know how to do this. I promise you. Observe the self-talk. Ask yourself, why do I say these things? Is there something more nurturing, more kind that I could say to myself? And remind yourself it's okay to cry. Just don't get swept up in those emotions. Determination and fire within you. View myself as a success already, and let go like my life depends upon it. Now, what I mean by that is you still see this moment as perfect. Yes, you're filled with so much gratitude because you're breathing and living, and you have vision, you can smell things, you can taste things, you can walk, you can talk. Remember, someone else out there has it much worse. Now, I'm not saying that your problems are something to shrug off. Like, I'm not saying that you're not allowed to cry. Like I said before, you can cry. That's okay. Crying can be healing, it can be cleansing. But have some perspective. By finding acceptance in this present moment, you are not signaling to the universe that you are okay with your current circumstances, like you've given up. No. Instead, you're saying, I am so ready for that transformation, for that shift. And if I could tell my younger self something, it would be to just let go and let God. Totally surrender the process. Yes, put myself out there, be ready to, I don't want to necessarily say work hard, because working hard doesn't necessarily equal success, but I was ready to work smart and apply myself in the ways that needed to happen in order to meet my future partner, perfect partner, buy my dream home, acquire my car, get this life, live it, travel in style, have money to spend and to not have to worry, to be able to go out to eat wherever I wanted. I had none of these things before. None of them. And if you would have looked at me then, you would have seen no hope for any change, because I knew nothing else but, I don't want to say poverty, because I wasn't like living out on the streets, but I mean living in a hotel and having your house sort of, totaled by a hurricane. It wasn't that big of a house either. Like, I was not living very well, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to those experiences, and I want you to relate to it. And when I talk about my life now, I'm not bragging in any way. I'm telling you, you can have this too and more. There's no reason why you can't. I just got there first. You can have it all. I hope you have a brilliant day. I hope you subscribe to this channel to get more videos on manifesting it all. Nothing less than the best. Have a good rest of your day. Tell me about all of your successes below.